Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at my makeup right here, yep, I decided to do my makeup today to talk about what has been recently happening in Ukraine. There's really not much to say how much that I just feel horrible for what happened to the citizens over there and with Russia's invasion over the country. There's really not much I can say about that because it's pretty much been said how awful it is. Now, the good news I can only say about that is that so far Germany has sent off anti-tank missiles to help the Ukrainians over there.
NATO countries are also responding tonight. Germany sending 1,000 anti-tank weapons and surface-to-air missiles into Ukraine. And the U.S. Secretary of State says an additional $350 million in military assistance has been authorized for the country.
So they're definitely on Ukraine's side for that, and so have most of the other countries. Honestly, I mean, considering what has happened with this whole war going on right now over there, it certainly feels like World War III. At least it's how it feels like to me, considering the history of Ukraine versus Russia, even years and years before all of this even happened this year. It don't even really matter at this point how much divided those two countries are, because the leader over there at Russia, the nicest way I could put him is that I fucking hate him. I really do. And I made a Facebook post about how much of a despicable human being that Putin is. I'm trying not to, be a hit list against the Russians. I'm really trying not to, because I know they do. Any type of government's gonna look at what you're posting, pretty much. I mean, that's not, we already know about that. But the nicest way I could just put about Putin's that what his leadership and what the other Russians have done to Ukraine, I fucking hate it. Everybody does too. I mean, just watching the news alone of families that are trying to move to Poland just because of the war in Kiev, Ukraine is going on over there. And there's already so many people that have died over there so far. And anytime I see those footages of those children with their families just crying, they can't even go back home because Russia's invaded on the capital of the country. And everything there's really not much to say. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to say of what has happened? And plus, if you think that the United States are against of what Russia has been doing to the country alone, you would be correct, because most of us, the majority of us, are totally against of what Putin and the Russian soldiers and the Russian military has done to Kiev so far. I mean, there's really not much. I mean, there was even protesters that rally on West Los Angeles, California, not too long ago too, that were with Ukraine. I mean, what does that tell you? Like, even us in America, we're totally against this.
So far, it has been peaceful. Most of the folks here are Ukrainians. They have families still in Ukraine, and they are hearing the stories of hardship and heartache, but also Russians and Americans who have come to show their support. This really is the proof of power of social media. Local Ukrainians posting about these rallies in Facebook and Twitter, and the people just keep coming here to West LA.
And like I even said, this feels like World War III going on. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist saying things like that, but that's what it feels like. I'm already horrified. I mean, I wanted 2022 to at least be somewhat of a decent start, but no. again, it started off shit again this year. The last time the year started off bad was last year when the QAnon rioters were invading the capital of Washington, D.C. with thousands and thousands of the QAnon rioters breaking into the Capitol and literally beating up police officers and security guards, and it's insane. The pandemic was already horrible as enough as it is. It only feels like things have been gotten worse since the pandemic started. It's funny because almost completely 2 years ago, when the pandemic really started, it was already bad enough as it is, having to stay at home, stay 6 feet apart, wearing a mask, and were there's still people still doing that even today. It feels like it's even gotten worse with what Putin and the Russian military has done into Ukraine. There's really not much I can say. I'm honestly thinking about if I get any more sales of my art, part of the money, if the money I do make, is gonna go donate to a charity that supports Ukraine right now. I mean, that's what I would that's what I would do at this moment. That's how I feel, especially what's been going on. And thankfully, most of the other countries are even against of what the Russian government has done. When even the rest of the world is against of what you've done, that's horrifying. That's really horrifying. It also doesn't even help the fact that there might, ever since this invasion has happened, they said it might likely happen that China might invade Taiwan after this, which I'm already scared as it is too, because that's another country with a really questionable, and I mean extremely questionable government, how they process over there too. I try not to talk about things like that because I guess just me as an American, yes, I don't even trust some of the things that even happen here in the United States, but even most of us, we can at least, think that, hey, we have freedom of speech. Hey, we at least, have the right to bear arms. Pretty much the First and Second Amendment. Most of the other countries in the entire world don't even have that luxury. Think about it. And when I hear things like what happened to Ukraine, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm an egotistical bitch or anything, but it makes me feel lucky I live in America after hearing things like this. And I even heard like people from different all sorts of countries, when they move here, they're just lucky where they can just walk around, and not have to be, prosecuted all the time, and not have to worry about if there's any like sort of like government knocking down on their door just for the simplest things that don't align with their government. I mean, it really just goes to show you how much, I mean, and also, I mean, as of right now, I did hear that America is not going to start war with Russia as of right now. Oh, yeah, it's one of my cats. Sorry, my cat is causing trouble. But, anyways, yeah, I just, hearing things like that, there's really not much I can say. All I just wish is for is the freedom of Ukraine. So I really wish for is the freedom for Ukraine. And there's my cat again. That's all I really gotta say. I already posted most of my rant on Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter about what I feel about all of this. You can go check it out on my social media links down in the description below if you're interested. I wish nothing but peace for the Ukrainian citizens. I wish you luck, Ukraine. I really do.